What's going down, everybody? Brother Stefan is here. Welcome back to the channel. And we have here today the Horus Heresy Liber Hereticus rulebook. Now, this rulebook is going to give you the rules for the traitor legions. Now, for the core rules, you're going to need the other rulebook, which comes in the Horus Heresy box. And also, a very big special thanks to Matt, who's provided us with this copy for review. He got the box set today. If you want to check out our spiel about the box set, you can check out our other video. Should be the one before this one, which has us unboxing the box, talking a little bit about our opinions on it and stuff like that. So with this video, just to be clear, this is not like a rules video, okay? There will be a rules video. It's just that the rules video, it's its own beast. There are a lot of changes. Matt and I have been going through them here for the last hour, just talking about some of the highlights. So for example, one of the biggest ones, is the fact that a +2 to hit now is a thing. All right, that's a change from the previous edition. There's all sorts of little weapons changes. I believe that Machine Spirit has changed, so you can't snap fire anymore. You can still split fire, but you can't snap fire, which is something I don't really like. There's a couple of other things like, I think Armored Ceramite has been removed completely from the, was that right, Matt? Was it Armored Ceramite? Yeah, Armored Ceramite. And I think extra armor, I'm saying, yep. So both those have been removed. So look, there's heaps. So there's going to have to be another video for that where we sit down and just, from scratch. One thing I will say though, for anyone who was after rules, if you're still following, this is what I recommend you do. So if you're going to go through and you're looking to upgrade to 2.0, which most of the people are, all right, just be advised there are significant changes. Check them. Don't just assume that the core rules are going to be the same as 0.1 or version 1 of the system, because there are some substantial changes in the core rules. All right. So yeah, let's go through and let's have a look. We're going to have a quick flick through here and see what's going on. So it's a very thick book, very nice book. Just be careful with it because it's not my book. But here you go. You've got the galaxy there. Okay, you've got this little page finder here as well. Okay, now one thing is I've just been told that the black books for Horus Heresy have been made redundant, so they're not actually printing them anymore, which kind of sucks. And there is a lot of lore in those books as well that is not quite in these books. So look, if you're into the lore and extra art and things like that, I highly recommend that you pick up those black books, or at least for the legions that you want, because they're going to be pretty hard to come by soon, almost relics. Now, the rules will be, obsolete, okay? But they're already obsolete actually, because there's been updates to a lot of the earlier books. However, for lore purposes and also, if you're into the artwork and things like that, or just for collection purposes, you definitely want those. Books. So here we go. I'm just flicking through. We've got some art, some Night Lords, fantastic Conrad Kurz. I call him Conrad Cruz, like Tom Cruise, but I reckon Tom Cruise, man, he'd play a mad friggin' Conrad Kurz. But anyway, So yeah, so just going through here, just talking about army lists, force organization charts. Okay, so this is interesting. So it looks like now, if I'm looking at this, reading this correctly, I haven't read that part. This looks like the general one. So Matt, the 0.1 rules, that was like two default you had two default troop choices, right?
Yeah, you still do.
Still do? They got 3 here. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. I'll have to go through.
2 blacked out things.
The 2, so it's optionary. Oh, right. So it's blacked out. Right. Okay.
That means you have to take them.
Yeah, my bad, everybody. So it's 2 compulsory, and then the black is optional. So it's basically saying, okay, you've got your allied forces here. So who can ally up together? Okay, who's sworn enemies, sworn allies, all that kind of stuff. So look, I'm just going to go through this once again. It's not really rules, but Here we have Praetor, Taratos Praetors. Actually, this is actually the general book, right? So these are general units for the heretics. So they're in here too. It's not just like, like remember the old red books where you just had like the old, like the forces that...
The general units are in both that book.
Right, okay. So, because I'm looking through it, I'm like, did I F up here? Like, what were, like... But no. So one of the biggest things straight away off the bat, which is pretty epic. So with a lot of the old rules for Horus Heresy, the ones that I've obtained anyway, the red books and stuff like that. So the way they had it, they had a core rule book, and then they had a Legion Astartes rule book, which would have some of the core units, which would have like Praetors and all that in one book, and then you'd have another book which had the factions, and then they'd just be for faction specifics. But it looks like with these books, they've actually got units that are appropriate for both factions in both books, which is actually really epic, because it means that even though you're carrying a bigger book around, if you so choose to do it that way, I'm personally going to be going for PDFs, because, you know, I don't need a gym session while I'm running around playing with this tome. But certainly if you wanted to bring the book, it's a lot easier, you know, to check it out. You've got faster access to these rules, which is amazing. So these are just all your Praetors and things like that. So yes, it's a really thick book, really big. One of the big notes is the new Alpha Legion Linnaean Terminators. The sergeant for them now gets 3 wounds, and that's pretty nuts. You know, because essentially, like what you're doing there, you're turning a Terminator. You know, like a specific Legion, specific Terminator, yes. But, you know, you're literally turning him into almost like a mini Praetor. He's still got, you know, he's got a 4-up. He's got 3 wounds. He's going to have less attacks. But still, he's coming in with quite a few attacks. On the charge, he's going to get like a few. So, yeah, and plus then you've got that new Warlord trait, the unit trait, which allows them, you know, to draw from other legions' abilities as well and put it on their own unit. So, you know, I could see at events and stuff like that, Alpha Legion are becoming very popular. They're going to be a very popular Legion. I also think that it's because a lot of the 40k players who are coming over from 40k, they're gonna hit a lot of ground with Alpha Legion, because, you know, they're very similar paint wise to a lot of stuff from 40k, you know, like obviously the rules and that as well, like, you know, so it's good, you know. I mean, they might definitely my home Legion. I'll always be Alpha Legion to the core. But I must say I'm glad though that I'm doing Space Wolves now. I've got a couple of Legions, but I'm glad I'm doing Space Wolves, because it's like everybody's doing Alpha Legion now, and it's like, oh, I just can't stand that bandwagoning stuff, you know. It's just like, here we go, I rock up my Alpha Legion, and there's like 7 other freaking Alpha Legion players, and that's great, you know, but it's good to mix things up a bit. So that's why I thought, you know what, for Horus Heresy 2.0, I'm gonna do some Space Wolves. So again, we're into the units. We're just past the infantry. We're doing rhinos now, stuff like this. I mean, look, we don't have to go through all of these. This is for the rules. I was just yakking on. I'm just gonna sort of flick through these a little bit. Yeah, this is more of a you know, an overview, because I will do a proper rules video. We're probably gonna play on Wednesday. So, oh, beautiful! Like the Venator, my favorite tank, rules wise and also looks wise. It's maybe not looks wise my favorite of all time, but my list, my Alpha Legion, I'm telling you, you can now take these in squadrons. So taking up 1 heavy support slot. So you could have 3 Venatars taking up 1 heavy support squad. These things are like for their value, the return on the investment on these. I think I did another video, you know, like it was more of using it in 40k many years ago, but even in the 40k rules, these are awesome. But also for me, for Alpha Legion, They're very fluffy too. You can see they've got the Alpha Legion colors because they were very techy. You know, so Alpha Legion were very techy. They were very powerful. You know, I know they did have a stealth element to them, but as we'll discuss in another video, we was talking to Matt about it before. Their stealth was an element of their modus operandi, which is what I think a lot of people they don't quite get. You know, yes, the deception thing was there, but that was more for strategic strategizing. Okay, Alpha Legion, you know, their lies are part of their technology. It's more of like a, you know, like an FBI kind of thing, you know, so or a KGB kind of modus operandi. You know, they don't. Not that I know of anyway. I haven't seen them once in the fluff run around with, you know, fur things on their back hiding around. It's Chameleon Cloaks, you know, technology, you know, cloaking cloaks and cloaking devices that conceal them and stuff. And as you can see in the book here, you'll see that they're predominantly blue, which is what my Alpha Legion is. And they're shiny too. And they also said in the book they're shiny. But anyway, so going on, so we've got some more rules here. We're going to flick through. What is it? Got to be some art in here, right? Yeah. So we're just going to try to, was it Raptors, the aerial units, Lords of War. Oh, damn it. So Typhon is still a freaking Lord of War. Now, this is something I want to check out because I recently did a Typhon up for my Space Wolves and I've got a friggin' Typhon for my Alpha Legion. You know, because they're stealthy and stuff, but like there's like 3 different artworks I can think of, including their official demo artwork in this book that shows a Typhon, but they're stealth, you know. I don't think a Typhon is stealth, but anyway, whatever. So basically, but I've heard this has got a massive nerf. Now, it used to be AP2. It was a large blast AP2 and it was absolutely devastating. When I played Matt the other day, I was testing my wolves out. I lost the game, but even though it's because it's my first ever game Matt knows the page, I think that's what he's doing. So even though it was my first ever game with Space Wolves, I love that. That Stormbird, the Alpha, that's like your color scheme. That's why, if you want to see Matt's Alpha Legion colors, I think we've got a video on there. No, you played Blood Angels that day. I'll show you one day. We do a bat rep. Matt's Alpha Legion color is very similar to this, and this is why I really like it because it's fluffy. Because it's matte, but he's got this Thousand Suns blue with some other stuff he's done with it, and it really works. I'm not a fan usually
BFG models over there. BFG.
Oh, right. Yeah. Battlefleet Gothic models as well in the shot. Yeah, awesome. So anyway, we're finding that here we go, the Typhon. Yeah. So we're looking for the Typhon. So yeah, Dreadhammer Siege. So this has been nerfed. AP3. Not as bad as what we thought it used to be, but yeah, what we got here. So, okay, it's Heavy 1, Barrage, which is the same, Large Blasts, which is, yeah, it's 5 though, like
this one.
Rending 6.
This one.
Yeah, this one I saw was pointing to, so Rending 4. That's all right. Sunned Up. Brutal? What's brutal?
You cause an extra 4 wounds.
Oh, that's brutal. All right, cool. So that's okay. So you know why AP3 ain't looking so bad now. That AP3, I don't really give it F anymore. I'll be finishing my Space Wolf Spartan. I'm happy for it to be AP3. But it used to be, so there's another rule here now, it's 24 inches. I believe it used to be 48 inches if you didn't move, 24 inches if you moved, and that's now just been nerfed to a flat 24. But I can deal with that. I think that's fair to having such a powerful gun. Points cost there, should be here somewhere. I don't know, they might be in the back of the book. We'll have a look at that. I can't see the points, but it all depends on the points cost as well for it. I'm hoping they reduced it in points a bit. I think my version of points that I go off, which is off Battle Scribe, which is usually up to date, I think it was 390 by memory, and I find that pretty fair. In the game, before I digressed about my Alpha Legion rant, in the game I was playing with Matt with Space Wolves, even though like he won, I still had that Typhon left, and it was doing damage. I could have been a dick, and I could have continued playing and and destroyed a lot of his stuff. I called it. I conceded, but it is a powerful tank. So this AP2 is not the end of the world. This brutal is really good. So I have to read the rule, but that looks like a new rule. I haven't seen that before in the Horus Heresy, but that could be my bad. Maybe that's an oversight on my behalf, but I believe that's a new rule. The thing is that what I think you're looking at targeting now with this is you're looking at things like obviously infantry, the AP3. You're also looking at not so much Terminators and stuff anymore, because they're going to be able to get a save from this, even though you're still going to roll some ones. But maybe like armor, to be honest, like things like rhinos and stuff like that, like light armor concentrations, because it is still strength 12. So you want to be sort of like smashing it into sort of medium armor, medium to light armor, big sort of blobs and columns. That's the way I could see the Typhon sort of working. So yeah, bit of a commentary here, guys. Like I said, it's just a flick through. You can listen to it while you're painting, whatever. This isn't a rule video yet. I'm not going to go through the rules till I've actually played the game. Okay, I saw the other day, was about to watch a video. I won't mention the channel. Pretty good dudes. But it's a 40k channel. And they put up a video. I follow it because even though I don't really play 40k much anymore these days, for the last 2 years, since bloody 9th, which is why the predominant reason why the channel, like I will be doing more with Horus Heresy on it, but thankfully they released a new version. But basically 40k players, I follow them though, because it's just interesting to keep up with it. And also Adonis, and we're talking only Adonis tomorrow. We're going to have a bit of a chat because he's got his Chaos Knights army, and he wants to run some tactics by me and stuff. So but yeah, these guys, they did like a video called like they rank a ranking. I think they called it a tier video, a 30k top tier video. And then and I'm like, oh, okay, these guys are generally really good, and like they're competitive players, professional players, in 40k, ICT and that, and I'm like, oh, I'll save that one for later. I linked it to myself. Then later on last night, I was sort of like going to listen to it when I fell asleep, and I'm like, oh, I'll pull out some crackers and listen to this video, and and then I look at the comments, because I say like, okay, well, this is like a big video. Do I want to invest my time in it? And I'm reading the comments, and everybody's going, what the F? Like, what are you guys smoking? Like, you actually play the game before you want to go through the rules and tier list these guys. Like, they actually had no clue, and they got ripped up on their social media too. Like, I was reading some of the Facebook comments, and, rightfully so. I mean, you don't want to start doing tiers if you haven't bloody played it. You can give a video. You do some videos on an overview, where you talk about what you might think might be good, but you can't really do a bloody tier list, especially when when you're claiming you're the best in the world players, which they probably are in 40k. I mean, I think they definitely are. But I know they're in the ICT and they're ranking in the top 5 or whatever. But at the end of the day, man, just stick with 40k. Either be serious about 30k or just stick with 40k. Use some of the models and stuff. One thing you'll know, it's another video I want to do, talking about like the culture of the hobby of 30k. This is why I crossed over it 2 years ago when 9th edition came out. It's a very, very more serious player base. Welcoming, nice, like very nice people, but serious. And they take the game very seriously, and I respect that. And I also take the game very seriously. Like, I don't have the huge amounts of time to spend spending 1 month on one miniature or anything like that, but I always try to put a decent amount of effort into my armies. Sometimes it just gets, to the fact, well, do I need to finish the, 3,000 points of stuff so I can play with it or not, But mad props to the people who just sit there for 1 month painting one guy's leg. Like I wish I had that time, and yeah, go for it. But anyway, I'd probably better off doing videos because it helps people. So anyway, Sol Tarvitz is here. So yeah, anyway, just rules. I'll try to skip forward a bit. We want to get to some pictures. Here we go. All right, cool. So we're already in the Emperor's Children, right? Did I skip anyone in my rants? No, that's General War Gear. Yep, Emperor's Children started here. So there is a fair bit of information, but as you can see, like you compare this to one of the old black books, and yeah, it's really quite light. Still good. I like it. Emperor's Children, absolutely beautiful. Great color scheme. Really good fluff. It's not a lore video, but it's really nice. Destroyer Company banners. I haven't seen that before, but that's probably like a my bad thing. I really love the white mixed in with the Emperor's Children purple. That sort of like off sort of pearl white, I think works really well, especially like with the purple as well. But I must say, personally, I prefer a little bit of more sort of lighter pink also mixed in to the Emperor's Children. One of my friends, Paul EC, his Emperor's Children, his army, he has that, and it looks really good. Because it's just, to me anyway, like that sort of flat purple is really nice, but I like to have, some pink highlights, and things like that in there. So again, like really nice flat purple. It's dark, it's cool, but I like a little bit more variance and stuff in it. But yeah, no, it's definitely fluffy. I mean, some might say the hot pink stuff came in, after the Heresy and that, sure. But just talking about personal preference. So, anywho's cool. So let's just skip forward a bit. We'll find the next Legion, which will be Tyrant. So we're already at the Iron Warriors. Tyrant Siege Terminators are back again. See here, standard Iron Warriors thing, lots of hazard stripes, some really cool insignias and that. I like it. I have noticed there's some new artwork here in the book, I believe. Like they've added a few things, or maybe there was an expansion I wasn't aware of. I know for the Alpha Legion there was some. Matt was quite surprised. There was like a brass helmet. I mean, I've seen the brass helmets before. I just hadn't seen them on a Beaky. But that could be a memory lapse on my behalf. Here, showing the hazard stripes on the Dreadnought close combat weapon, or the fist. Awesome. Iron Warriors, brilliant. Dreadnought. Got this model. I was using it for Iron Hands for a conversion. But I didn't quite think it looked too good. But once you start putting the hazard stripes and that on it, once you start adding some weathering, it actually really starts to look really nice. And of course, the Typhon siege tank, which would have been one of the Iron Warriors' signature weapons being, specializing in siege warfare. The aggressive side of siege warfare anyway. Now, here we got the showcase, so it's looking really good. Everything's looking good here. Matt pointed out before, he says he didn't like this unit here, this specific one, and but he likes this one because it's more dirty and stuff like that. Now, here's my take on it. As a loyalist Iron Hands, I'm fine with that, although I'm not big with the Beakies, or the the Beaky Marines of Iron Warriors. I keep saying Iron Hands. I apologize. I play Iron Hands, so that word keeps popping up. Iron Warriors. So that's it. I think he's a lot cleaner there, which is fine by me, although it is a dirtier Legion. I tend to work like that with my Legions. So depending on who they are and their Legion sort of ethos will determine how I paint them in terms of weathering. Like, for example, World Eaters, they're obviously full of grit and rust, and they don't give an F. So, blood and heaps of weathering. Death Guard, same thing. To me, though, look, Iron Warriors are one of those Legions where you want to have them weathered up. okay? Even if they're loyal, you could still have them shiny, but you keep them weathered up. You know, going back to the EC, the Emperor's Children, that's another Legion personally that, and I think this is, you know, they're pristine. They're, you know, they're looking after their stuff, they're polishing their armor because of, you know, because of their personality, because of their chapter personality, if that makes sense. And I think it also goes through and you know, it talks about the Legion as a whole, you know, and if you're someone like me who, you know, for most cases my aim is to have a loyalist side of the army and a traitor side of the army, I will actually divide it up. So, you know, my loyal guys, Alpha Legion will be blue, my traitor guys will be some other colour, with my elites being teal, which is how it was in the fluff, but anyway, whatever, and so forth. So I think, look, if your army is loyal, I think that you can get away with that cleanness with Iron Warriors. You pay them however you want. Just, you know, we're just talking here, we're just giving opinions. Still not big on the Mark 6 helmet though for Iron Warriors. But yeah, so yeah. The other thing is too, looking at this paintwork, it's good. But I would have liked to see more weathering chipping. Also, this pigment that's been placed in the between the treads here. It's fine having it there, but there should be a little bit more variance. Also, there would be some spill onto the other parts of tracks. It wouldn't make sense, you know, for like that part to just be like that and then have everything else as shiny. You know, what they were probably better off here doing is using some oil, not null oil, but actual oil paints to get in there and weather that in like that. Mix it in with some brown oil, maybe, let's say, maybe black and maybe ochre red, maybe 80-1 or something like that. Yeah, but you know, GW don't sell oil paint, so they're not going to do that, right? So, but that's just a bit of a spiel from me. Okay, so just moving forward a bit, I think we've got my boys next. And I was with this Legion before they were cool. Oh no, Night Lords. The Legion that Matt has been harassing me for the last year to do, and I keep telling him I don't want to paint lightning. He's like, oh yeah, but you'd be right, man. I said, yeah, no, because I've still got 20 custodes there who need lightning painted on their spears. So if I'm gonna be painting lightning, then I want to do that, you know, like I can't imagine, like you can get decals for it though. There's also some templates, there's some third party stuff you could get. I will eventually do a Night Lord army sometime, but the thing is that like if I'm going to do a blue army, it's going to be Ultramarines. You know, my Alpha Legion army, a big chunk of it is blue, so you know, I've got enough blue in my forces at the moment. So yeah, I will get them. I'll get to them. There's some other. Plus, I think, you know, some of this stuff is really cool. You know, with the Grim Reaper and all that. You know, in terms of the iconography. But I think, just for me anyway, I think they could start to get a little bit silly sometimes. This picture is actually not really... This is better. You've got the guy sort of... This is how the model should have been. So the Forge World Night Lord Leviathan Dreadnought has got this dude. It's just like sticking out of that armor piece, right? And to me, it just looks a little bit off. Okay, it looks a bit thrown on there, bodgy and off. But this works for me. I reckon that looks stunning. You know, this is... If I was to do a Night Lord army, this is what I'd be going for. 100%. Yeah, no, really nice. Yeah, moving on. Yeah, there it is. That's what I was talking about. That, like, to me, that looks a bit derpy. The skulls look a bit derpy. The hand or whatever stuck there looks a bit derpy. Like, it's kind of like they were thinking, you know, we don't really know what to do with this, but we've got to put something on it to make it look unique. And I know probably a lot of Night Lords players are going to like grill the shit out of me for this, and that's fine, like go for it. But remember, it's just personal opinion, everybody. You guys do you know, like I'm no authority in this. So again here, just this whole kind of like, you know, Hermes helmet. You know, it's just a bit, well, it's a bit derpy to me, you know. But that's it. The lore behind the Legion, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. You know, criminals and and stuff, and a planet. You know, just packed of criminals. World Eaters Legion, really nice Legion. One that I really want to actually get. So one of my first armies that I actually saw in the Horus Heresy was done by one of my friends, Sebastian, when it first came out back in 2015. Absolutely beautiful army. Full weathered up and everything, and just very well balanced. Yeah, so World Eaters, basically, awesome army. You can see here really nice contrast. Now, what I really like is how they've muted this blue down a little bit, because being a Trader Legion, it's kind of going to be a little bit more muted. And you can see here that they've started to incorporate the red into the armor, which is something that they started doing as they started to shift more over to their 40k counterparts. And this was actually in some of the later black books as well, so it's not like a new thing. So once again, Cerberus, which is interesting. I would have expected them to go with, maybe a Spartan or a Typhon. A Typhon would be more close combat, but in terms of the painting, I mean, this is a really good guide on how to paint the World Eaters. There's a good balance of weathering. I think one of the mistakes I see people make is just not showing restraint when it comes to weathering with the World Eaters. I mean, a lot of armies, you want to weather it, but you want to keep it in areas, like in specific areas where it would be weathered, right? You don't just want to just go off and just get and start drilling into it, okay, with a brush. This is a very good example of the weathering, but to me, I think that it's more the 40k style of weathering. I think it's a lot cleaner than I'd personally like, but it's good if that's what you're going for. The mud sort of on the bottom is good. Very good contrast with the white. So you can see here that it's also there on the boots as well. So I mean, for a loyalist, actually, for a loyalist World Eaters, that's probably a really good result. But if it was a trader, I would probably go a little bit heavier on the weathering, to be honest. I can't help but feel there's just a little bit of 40k painting style mixed in here. Like if you look at this little highlight on his nose, you probably can't see that. But that's a bit of a shame. I really was a good fan of the way, the style in which 30k models were weathered. It's less about the edge highlighting and more just about the grit. So. But anyway, just some thoughts. So we have the Death Guard. I think that's pretty spot on for the Death Guard. They're usually going to be very heavily weathered. I don't think I've seen a pristine Death Guard. Now, I'm sure they exist. They're fluffy because in early, Flight of the Eisenstein and things like that, before that time period and that, a lot of their armor was very pristine white and green. But I don't know. I think it probably look a little bit out of place if you had like a completely white Death Guard army with no weathering. But there's what you want to do with the white. You want to get some what do you call it? Some ink, some wash. And you want to go through and run it over your Seraphim Sepia over the white or something, and a shade paint, and you want to go through and just tint that white. Even if you're not going to weather it, at least the bottoms, right? At least the bottoms, so that when the light you know, is hitting from the top, it just shows you that gradient. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, so that's just it. You can see, yeah, exactly like that. Basically, that's basically what you want to see. Fantastic references. You know, you've got your stripe running through. You can see here that you know, Games Workshop understands shadowing in their art, which is something that I've seen a bit lately. I always see it. It's a trigger thing for me when you've got people painting the light in the wrong areas, like the light coming up from the ground. Once again, going back to the Alpha Legion army, which I saw, where he's got the top of the model obscured by ambient occlusion and shadow, and the highlights coming down from underneath it, and it's just like, that's cool, but it's just, to me, that model is now wrecked, because it's, you know, if you've gone to that much effort to paint your mini, then, you know, you want to have your lighting done properly, you know, like, it's like light doesn't come from under the ground, it comes, you know. Anyway, I'll do a video one day, we'll talk about, it's my job, part of my job is lighting, you know, characters in games and environments, so, you know, it's how I earn a living, so I'm not, you know. Yeah, Thousand Suns, really, really awesome. So let's have a look at Thousand Suns. That's gotta be Tamaya Red here, guys. If it's not, I think it'd be yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, Thousand Suns. I've seen some really nice matte Thousand Suns armies. They are red in a Horus Heresy. If I did see some more blue, if the player had a very good lore excuse for it, or they were saying it was, you know, closer to the 40k sort of you know, time period, I'd accept it. I'd accept a light blue Thousand Suns, blue cyan army. I'd even accept the Thousand Suns Terminators, 40k Terminators, the Scarab Occults in there, especially for conversions. But me personally, I really am a fan of the of that Tamaya Clear Red, which was actually, yeah, it's just beautiful. You know, you put like a warm gold underneath it, and there's a paint called Aclade 2, which is actually better than Tamaya Clear Red. It actually gives you this really beautiful wine colored red, not blood red, but this wine colored red, and it looks stunning, and the refractions are stunning, and, you know, you mix it in with some of that white gold, absolutely beautiful. But look, you know, that's just my opinion. You go ahead and you paint them up whatever you want, but interesting historical variant, and it's like mostly white and gold. That could work, you know, although you'd probably raise some eyebrows. This is really cool, like this black division and that. I haven't seen that before, and maybe it was one of the other books. I've seen that. I love that. You've got sort of your inscriptions on the sides and stuff, and yeah, no, that's really nice. If you're gonna go matte, like you go do that kind of stuff with it, mix in some black, you know. Yeah, okay, the classic Thousand Suns. Amazing. Yeah. Beakies work well on, I think. I don't know about the fluff, but you know, it's, Beakies certainly look well. It's classic Horus. Going through here. So this is the Sons of Horus. Yeah, the good old blue-green. Black Terminators. You know, what can I say? Looking great, looking standard Sons of Horus, as you'd expect them to look. Beautiful minis there. The new Praetor, absolutely beautiful. One of the best Horus Heresy minis to come out quite a while. The Justerian Terminators, looking great there. They've done a really good job of, you know, bringing that black out with the edge highlights. You know, black is not a hard color to paint, but you need to know what you're doing a bit, or you can bury the model in it. But once you know sort of the gift of the gab with it, it's actually pretty easy. You know, Horus looking as he should, as he does. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of the, like, I like the color, the Sons of Horus, like teal, whatever you call it, like turquoise or whatever. I like the color, but I just don't like it on this Legion. And I just think, don't know, like, I think if I was to do an army, I would probably do it black. Because, yeah, I'm a bit like that with Imperial Fist too. It's just me, just the banana yellow. My Imperial Fists are going to be like a yellowy gold sort of mix of black. Models that are assembled. Okay, Word Bearers looking great there, as standard as Word Bearers will do. Gal Vorbak here for painting reference. Karen, battle tank, normal battle tank. I mean, look, this is just all standard stuff. Looking great. Bit of grey mixed in there with the red, which is really cool. I do like the grey. They were grey in the early Heresy. But the thing is, the grey is that I think that they parallel Space Wolves too much. If I was to have two armies, and I'm going to have a Space Wolf army, so if I was to go with Word Bearers, I would definitely go with the red, and maybe a little bit of grey or black in sections. Once again, here looking at the tank, GW, you understand how light works, right? A lot of miniature painters, please just look at things, how they work. Anyway, so cool. Yep, standard. I believe that's a new model there. Haven't played against it yet. Yeah, the Ashen Circle. Yeah, Erebus, Galvorbacks, really good with Alpha Legion now as well, if you want to take him in there as an elite. And I've skipped, oh no, here we are, my bros, and the Alpha Legion. So before they were cool, right? So here we go. No, Alpha Legion in their classic blue, as they should be, predominantly because their elites had turquoise armor, and some of the later units had turquoise armor for technology. But the primary army color codes, as per Legion, the book, was indigo blue, even though they were purple on the cover, which could be okay to have them purple because it could be that they had purple on there, but it could also be that the lighting, because if you look at the actual picture, the planet was orange, so that could change the tint of their armor. Okay, but predominantly they were blue. Okay, with bronze and silver trim. Despite what I've heard people say, yes, they had a lot of iconography. Okay, it's here in the book. That was the Legion. I was watching another video the other day, but there was a comment made saying that they didn't wear anything. They like in terms of iconography because it was part of their Legion modus operandi. Absolutely incorrect. If you look at this Marine right here, there's iconography all over him, tattooed, including scales and chains. And the tabard, like it's all like leg here, like there's not one. And if you look at the cover of Legion, I think there's one part of that whole Marine that is not covered in iconography. So look, do what you think looks good for you, but if you're gonna maybe take, and this is a thing with people like research the Legion, okay? They were very, very decorated. They decorated themselves. It was actually part of their ethos because they were always feeling like they were the underdog. So they would decorate themselves with ornamentation and with hydras, as you can see in the book. Yeah, and that's what Alpha Legion do, right? If you like them, purple and green, then that's fine. All more power to you. And technically that was a fluff color because they were in a combination of, it specifically says that in the book Extermination. But if you go through all the books, you go through all the lore. So this is a very personal subject to me. It's why I'm spending a bit of time on it, because it's my home legion. Yeah, they were also shiny. You could see from the armor in the book. Okay, you could see this. This is what you call a refraction line. Okay, when light hits an object, it creates that refraction when light bounces off it. Okay, that happens when armor is shiny. Also, I believe in the Raven Guard book. I can't remember the name off the top of my head now. The one where they steal the Night Lord's armor. They steal the what do you call it? The raptors. They mutate the raptors and stuff. There's a scene where Alfarius walks in to see Horus on the command ship, and I believe, from memory, it says that he walks in there with gleaming blue armor. Okay, so shiny blue armor, before he goes into his little secret, back to his ship, to his little secret command ship. And once again, the blue of the Alpha Legion. Okay, so yeah, they were blue. All right, as I saw a comment the other day, they were blue. Their elites were teal. Anything else is Sons of Horus. Okay, so yeah. So here we go. So it's very nice pattern army. The classic colors. So yeah, so these are more of the elite turquoisey shades, which are lore and canonical for Alpha Legion. As you can see here, it's actually represented. If you look at these units, Headhunter is elite unit, more turquoisey. Linnean Terminators is elite unit, more turquoisey. This could be a turquoise Rhino transport, could be accompanying an elite transport. This dreadnought here, which is, again, it's very declarative. Oh, but they're not busy, guys. Alpha Legion aren't busy. They're completely bare, man. They don't like to rock out with iconography. Look at that, guys. Look at that. I mean, how can you, guys? Come on, get your facts straight. So, so Alfarius, okay, the usual stuff. I believe they changed his paint scheme a bit to the original Jade. And yeah, but it's I think that's the original model. But what you got to understand is that the original Headhunters that were painted at Forge World, the original hue and saturation has been cranked up in Photoshop. You can see the original models. I've actually done a video of it. It's on my channel further down. It's a bit of a ranty video, so just be prepared. Here, you can see the Beakies, which are alongside Raven Guard. They're probably like one of the best legions to do the beaky thing with. So yeah, fantastic. You got the book. So look, that's an overview of the book, bit of a flick through. I've had a bit of a commentary. We will revisit this once I get my head around the rules a little bit more. I got to check with Paul if I could come, but Paul plan on Wednesday. So I might pop in. I might just watch. I'll check with him first though. I don't like to invite myself into places, but I'm sure he'll be fine. Yeah, guys, so that's it. All right. If you like the content, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any video requests, let me know. And I will see you in the next one.